Hey guys, Brad Burkhart here. Nitro, Bass Pro Shops Pro staff member. I'm a little late on my recap of the Douglas BFL event. So what I thought I'd do is I'd kind of wrap two things into one. What I'm going to do is, one, I'm going to kind of go over how and what I did at the BFL the end of September on Douglas, and kind of roll that into a tip for the season that we're in. Now, it's mid-October. Early October rather, here in East Tennessee, and everybody knows that when October comes around, you put everything up but a topwater bait, preferably a spook. And most of the time, that's the ticket. But I'm going to back up and I'll take you through my day on Douglas in the BFL event, and then I will share with you what's been going on the last week, week and a half, 2 weeks of my guide days, okay? So I went to Douglas with aspirations. Now we're talking about the end of September. Water temperatures were in the mid to upper 70s. They had started cooling down, but I went to Douglas with the idea that I was going to be able to catch them on top, and a lot of guys did. And I actually caught some fish on top in practice. But the day of the tournament, when it rolled around, wind was blowing like 25 and 30 miles an hour where I had been fishing, and top water was just out of the question. But I knew that they were still going to be there. So the one thing that I knew just from just experience, just fishing, is anytime you got wind like that, find a good windy bank and just get on that sucker and go fishing. And that's what I did. And the key bait that I used in the BFL on Douglas was a 1/2 ounce chartreuse and white killer blade spinnerbait made by Killer Bass Baits. Of course, you guys know that's my company, but that's the spinnerbait that I used to catch all my fish. And I don't know, a wee quick count, I probably caught 3 limits of fish. Now, I never got that 3-pound kicker. That's how I ended up with 8.5 pound. That's how I ended up with a 20-place finish. But they were there. The bites were pretty consistent. You could just about call your shots. The point, though, being, with all that being said, was yes, the deal with the bite was a topwater thing, but I had to adjust to my conditions. I had found those fish in practice on topwater, but I knew they were still there. Just because the wind blows doesn't mean they're not there, but I had to switch up. So what I did was I went to the spinnerbait. And, of course, there it is right there. Just a 1/2 ounce chartreuse and white, Killer Blades, spinnerbait, double willow, 1 gold, 1 chrome or nickel. But that's what I used. Now, a lot of people ask me questions. Do I use a trailer hook? Do I put a trailer? And very seldom do I use a trailer hook. But what I will use is a trailer. And my #1 go-to trailer for a spinnerbait is a Zoom. And it's a Zoom Fat Albert. And I'll get one out of the bag and show you. It's just a single tail grub. That's it. If my spinnerbait's pink, I'm going to have that grub on it. I literally throw a white Zoom Fat Albert on every spinnerbait that I ever throw. Okay, it doesn't matter the color of the spinnerbait. I always use a white. And the best way to do it is just thread him up on there, and I always thread him with the curl toward the hook, just like that, or toward the bait rather. Thread him up on there, and there he is. And it just adds a little bit of bulk, a little bit of body to your bait. But that's what accounted for all of my catches on Douglas. Like I said, I probably culled 2.5 limits to get to 8.5 pound. But, hey, I had them. I didn't run off and leave the fish I'd found, and I made it happen. Now, I told you I was going to give you a tip, okay? And here's the thing. Last 3 or 4 trips I've had out here on Norris Lake guiding, they're very sporadic as far as topwater bite. But what I have done and what I have found out, that it's pretty consistent to get bit on 2 other baits that I throw in the fall. Now, one I just told you about is a spinnerbait. The other is a lipless bait, okay, like a rattle trap, a red-eye shad. I've had 2 trips in the last week. Both guys are wanting to throw topwater, but we end up with spinnerbaits and rattle traps. Can you catch a couple on topwater? Yes, but they really ain't went just crazy on topwater yet here in our area. Especially for me, okay? But what I have found out, that as you get on any of these mud flats with pockets in them with a little bit of wood, you're going to catch them on either a lipless rattling style bait or a spinnerbait. Now, give you an idea about the rattle trap type bait. That's a red-eye shad is all it is, okay? Just a red-eye shad. Put you some good hooks on it. But a lot of people are keying in on rock banks. You can take that red-eye shad and go find you some mud flats with little pockets and dips and dives and little ditches and drains and catch them, because most people are going to overlook that. They're not going to fool with it. They think, you know, I'm going to go find me a steep rocky bank that I can throw a buzzbait down or something, and that's good and well, but you're going to be catching fish that get less pressure. Now, the sweet spot of those mud banks and those pockets is that one old dead snag that's standing there in 5 foot of water. That's where that bad boy comes into play. I took a gentleman out this past Wednesday practicing for a tournament, and we had 13.5 to 14.5, maybe 15 pounds. We caught a lot on the red-eye shad. We caught a lot on the red-eye shad, okay? But the big guys, when you came by that one stick or stump sticking up out of the water and rolled that blade bite, that's when you got that 3 to 3.5 pound bite. Okay, so in the fall, even though we live in Tennessee, even though you know you're supposed to be throwing a spook, sometimes you just got to give them what they want. So don't forget about a lipless rattling bait or a spinner bait. They can make a bad day a good one, or a good day a great one. Hey, I appreciate you listening. My name is Brad Burkhart, Bass Pro Shops, Nitro Mercury Pro Staff. All these products you can find at Bass Pro Shops. The line that I always throw, I throw both these baits I've been telling you about. 17-pound test P-line fluorocarbon. You won't have to worry about it. You can pick up the spinner bait at killerbassbaits.com. I appreciate you listening. I hope this puts a couple more in your boat. God bless.